Hello, my name's Natalie, and I'm with you today on behalf of the AIM Foundation, but also we have partnered with Essex Opportunities, which is a fantastic opportunity for you to get a lot of information today. So I'm here to talk to you about top tips for applications. So without further ado, let's get on with that. So ultimately, when you start applying for jobs or apprenticeships or whatever it may be, please make sure you get prepared. Give yourself that time. Make sure you have all your contact information, your phone number is present, and you do have a good answer phone message on there, not a comedy one, etc. Make sure you have a good email address that any responses can go to, again, and not a comedy one. Make sure any information you do put on any forms is correct. Meet any deadlines as well that they send you. So if they do ask you for anything in particular or by a deadline, please meet that, because obviously it looks terrible on you if you don't. And that you have met any eligibility that they're asking for. So if you do need maths and English at a C grade, and they're saying that's absolutely essential, please make sure you've met that. Then finally, when you are preparing, make sure you have everything together. So collect your information about you, any certificates you'll need, any exam papers. Give yourself the time, give yourself the space to be able to actually put your application together. So your application is going to be the thing that gets you in the door, gets that first foot in, to go through the long process. So if it isn't a good one, they're not going to take you any further forward. So let's make it the best one that you can actually have, but give yourself the time to do that. Now, to make your application strong, you can also research a company. This way you can pull out keywords and key values that are important to the company. And there's lots of different ways that you can do that. So have some commercial awareness. So know what that business actually does. It may well be you're applying for something in the office, but do you know what they produce, or do you know what their service actually is that you're going into? So please know about the company, because of this way, you're going to be on the same level when you do manage to get through to that interview page. Then make sure you have a look at any company literature. You can download it. It may well be you can pick up some top tips and key points from there as well. It'd be really helpful for you. Have a look at their competency framework. This is about their values. You know, are they very environmentally aware? Do they have a very strong code with regard to how they treat their employees? What are they like as a business? And that will help you with that. Does it align with who you are as well? If you're starting an apprenticeship, you can have a look at the apprenticeship standards as well to see actually what you're applying for, what will you be doing, what modules there are within that standard, so for your certificate. And if the business has open days as well, you might make good use of those by managing to go along and take part and speak to people there. It also raises your profile as well, which looks really good on you, because if you get through to interview stage, you can then say, oh, I came in for your open day, and that looks amazing on you. You can stay connected by signing up to newsletters and updates and things like that. And if you do get a chance to get around there or in there, it might be that you're able to speak to apprentices already in place if you're applying for an apprenticeship, because then that way you're going to get it from the horse's mouth what it's like. You might even be able to research the recruitment process. Now, not a lot of companies give some information away about this, but it might give you some tidbits once you get speaking to them. So it might be worthwhile having a look at what that is. Now you can match your CV to the job ad. So this is a tip. It's the one that's going to help you get noticed. So being able to match your qualities to those on the job ad is essential, and making sure it's on your CV. So as you can see here, we've highlighted some that this job ad had been asking for. Now, most people can actually put all of that on their CV, but lots of people I speak to never change their CV, the same old things I know all the time. But freshen it up. Match yourself in, put some extra ones in that you know are going to be fitting for the company because you've done that little bit of research on them. And also think of examples of how you show these, because when you then get into interview, they're going to ask you about them anyway. So you can be on the front foot by knowing how you can sell yourself well in that interview. Now, I have a log of all of my skills. So I've got a huge log on a Word document, so I can literally just copy and paste them over into the current CV or application that I was going to make. And that works really well. And it also helps me understand I do have a lot of skills, and I can use a lot of skills, and I can keep adding to that list as well. And I can freshen up the examples and make them more relevant and more up to date all the time. If you do get stuck, you have friends and family. They will be brutally honest with you, but they will be honest with you. So make sure that you do ask them if you do get stuck. Take your time with your application as well. So once you're there, make sure you're taking your time. Make sure you use a clear and professional font so it's easy to read. Don't cram the page too much, but do make sure you do use any free space. So you might need to expand your font or widen and adjust margins and things like that to make it look nice. Have clear section headers so people know where they're reading. And then with the content, make it personal to you. So if you do use any Google examples and things like that, just tweak it, make it personal to you, make it mean something about you so that you stand out on your CV. Include things that are relevant as well. So even if they're not asking for it, but you think actually they'd be quite impressed if I put that on because it's to do with that job, that'd be helpful in that job role, put it on. Use bullet points within your sections as well. So that's really nice and clear and an easy read for people to look at. So an employer might look at your application for about 6 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the DWP did some assessing on this and asked employers how long they looked at it for. So they are literally skim reading your application and putting out bits that are applicable for them. So making the most of your CV is the way to go around this. And then also check your spelling and grammar as well before you send anything anywhere. It'd be terrible if you didn't do that. So please make sure you do check any spelling and grammar. Now with CV structure, if they do ask for the actual CV rather than just filling things in online, will look something like this. So make sure your section headers, as we mentioned before, are nice and clear. Make sure you do have references available upon request if needed. And if you have only got the character reference, that is absolutely fine. Just don't pop any names and addresses on your CV as yet. But be prepared, they might ask for them. And then lastly, I just wanted to talk about your hobbies as well. So don't forget your hobbies, they do show skills as well. So rather than just putting a list of, I go out with my friends, I like socializing, it doesn't really say a lot about you, but these things do. So if you read, if you like gaming, all of these things will show skills about you and something more about you as a person. So not only does it tell us something about you in your personal life, it shows us a whole other set of skills. So don't be afraid of actually adding things in and just putting a quick description of why you like it. That's quite helpful too for people reading your CV. But you are your best salespeople. So put everything on there that makes you you. So for further information, we have a website that you can have a look at, the aimgroupfoundation.org. Really helpful. We are improving this all the time and putting new bits on there, which will be very helpful. But also Essex opportunities. Now these have put a lot of effort in. They have got some fantastic resources on there as well, and they are trying to reach everybody that needs any type of help with anything like this. So please use the website. It is amazing. If you have any questions, now's the time to direct them to the host. Thanks very much for listening.